Look at Scott Eastwood, and you see a familiar face, that jawline, those eyes, that quiet confidence. He starred in Fury, The Fate of the Furious, Pacific Rim, Uprising, and The Outpost. He's graced billboards, magazine covers, and red carpets. But ask someone what they really know about him, and you'll often get a pause, a shrug, maybe a guess. Isn't he just Clint's son? And that's the confusion. Not about who he is, but whether he's allowed to be more. This isn't about talent, it's about legacy. And the heavy price of being born into a name that casts a shadow longer than most careers. From the moment Scott stepped into Hollywood, the narrative was written for him. Nepotism, baby. Never mind that he worked as a ranch hand in Carmel for years. Never mind that he slept on friends' couches while auditioning. Never mind that his first major role in Gran Torino was a tiny part his father refused to expand just for him. Clint Eastwood gave him a line, a lesson, and a warning. If you're going to do this, you do it right. No shortcuts. But the world didn't see the struggle. It saw the name, and in an industry obsessed with self-made stars, that name became both a key and a cage. Even when he landed roles, on his own like Fury, where he trained with Navy veterans for months, people still whispered, would he have gotten that if his last name was Smith? It's a question no one asks of Chris Hemsworth or Will Smith, but it follows Scott like a ghost. Here's the irony. Hollywood loves legacy until it's inconvenient. We celebrate the Coppolas, the Fondas, the Wayans. We thrill when real-life siblings play on-screen families. But when a son tries to step out of his father's shadow, suddenly, it's an unfair advantage. Yet Scott never asked for the comparison. He didn't remake Dirty Harry. He didn't play a cowboy. He chose war films, dramas, ensemble cast roles where the Eastwood swagger had to be stripped away. In The Outpost, based on a true story of Green Berets in Afghanistan, Scott didn't just play a hero. He played a man out of his depth, making impossible choices under fire. Critics called it his best performance not because of his jawline, but because of his vulnerability. And yet, the headline still read, Clint's son proves he can act. Not Scott Eastwood delivers a breakthrough, but Clint's son, as if his identity only exists in relation to his father. What most don't know is that Scott's journey has been shadowed by real tragedy. In 2004, when he was just 18, his younger half-sister Jewel died in a car accident at age 16. The loss shattered the family. Scott rarely speaks of it, but friends say he threw himself into work to cope. Now imagine carrying that grief while the world reduces you to a famous surname. As a close friend told People magazine, he doesn't talk about Jewel much, but you see it in his eyes, especially in roles about brotherhood, loss, survival. He's not acting, he's remembering. He could have leaned into the Eastwood brand, done westerns, worn the poncho, ridden the nostalgia, but he didn't. He chose the harder path, earning his own respect, one honest role at a time. The real reason people are confused about Scott Eastwood is this: we don't know how to see him outside the legend. We want heroes to come from nowhere. But what if the hero is right here working, failing, trying again while carrying a name that means everything to everyone else, and nothing to the work itself? Scott isn't Clint Eastwood 2.0. He's Scott Eastwood, a man shaped by loss, forged by discipline, and quietly building a legacy of his own. And maybe the confusion ends the day we stop asking, is he as good as his father? And start asking, what does he have to say? If this story of identity, legacy, and quiet perseverance moved you, please like, subscribe, and join us at Buzz of Legends, where we don't just repeat the narrative, we question it. Next time, we re-looking at Francesca Eastwood and what it was like growing up Eastwood in the age of social media. Until then, remember, the hardest name to live up to isn't the one the world gives you. It's the one you're trying to earn for yourself.